mind. And the conscious mind, what we call the conscious mind, just observes the outcome. It's like watching a movie on the screen. It actually all originates within here, and that's where what we need to change. If we change our inner self, our vibrational self, we will therefore change the play-out world that we observe through the conscious mind. And we will observe something we want to experience rather than something we think we have no control over. We attract to us people, places, jobs, opportunities, lack of opportunities, money, no money, luck, bad luck, by our state of being. We are the ones that are creating it. When we are in fear, we'll draw to us things that we fear and say, told you, see, I'm frightened of it and it comes to me, see, I'm so unlucky. But if we can change what we put out and put out another energy, what we call love or whatever, and we can draw to us a reflection of that. Again, taking responsibility. Like, I'm not being kind of, the guru on the mountain here. I've said this a bloody number of times in the last 20 years. Why me? Why me? Why not someone else? But then you say, well, why not you? And why is it you and not her or not him? And that, we take responsibility, not why me, I'm so unlucky. Why me in terms of why have I drawn this into my life? I drew many things into my life I didn't like, and then when I started to realize what I was putting out unknowingly at the time that was drawing these people in, I stopped drawing them in. And the great thing, the great energy of change for me is intent. Some people call it the will. I call it intent. If you put out intent that this is what I want to do, this is what I will do, never mind want to do, then that energy of intent will always draw to you what you need to achieve that intent. But where it falls down is, often what we draw to us are things we don't like initially. I want to be spiritual. I want to be all existence and all that stuff. And then you put out that intent, and the intent says, okay, this is what you need to achieve that. And invariably at the start, in the early stages, what we need to achieve that is to break down the old construct based on our beliefs and our emotional states and our mental states and our perceptions. So we draw things into our life that we don't like, pains in the backside, things going wrong, things we don't like, and what it's doing is breaking down this old construct so the new one can emerge and you can achieve what that intent wants, which is transformation. And so many people, they put out that intent, and then what comes towards them is all this stuff, and they go, well, I'd like to transform, but not that badly. Thank you very much. And away they go to the old life. And then they'll say, you don't create your own reality because I wanted to do it and nothing happened. No. When the things came towards you to help you achieve it, you ran away because you didn't want to go through it. And intent will draw to you what you need to achieve the intent, not necessarily what you want to achieve the intent. And I have this saying from personal experience. Life gives you your greatest gifts, often brilliantly disguised as your worst nightmare. And I experienced that in the early 90s to the mid-90s when my world fell apart and I couldn't go anywhere in Britain, sometimes further afield, without being laughed at by most of the people. The comedian only had to say my name, no joke necessary, and the audience were laughing. I'd stop at the traffic lights, I'd look across, the family in the next car were laughing. Now, that seems a terrible thing, and in the experience of it, it wasn't pleasant. But what did it do? It cleared me of the prison that most people live in, the fear of what other people think. Because when you go through that level of ridicule, you either transform and go beyond it, or you end up in the corner shaking and it's all over. So when I look back at that, did I like experiencing it? No. When I look back, would I change it? No bloody way. Because it was a wonderful, wonderful gift. And if in the now, In the now, forget the past and the future. In the now, we can just accept some of these things and realize and get the best out of them by saying, why is this happening to me? What is there to see in this? How can I change my perception as a result of this? How can I see as I'm drawing it to me? Then you can move very quickly through these periods of transformation. There's this thing called The Secret, which is this DVD that talks about, attracting into your life what you want. I think there's some good things in it, and I think it's very simplistic in many ways. And what I would say is, if you visualize a Ferrari, and your life experience does not include having a Ferrari, then you can paper your house with Ferraris, and you can sit there and look at them forever. A Ferrari ain't going to turn up in the garage because it's not what your experience is. And there are many, many things that go into this mix of how we create reality, including what we came in to experience, which will be in the energy field that we carry through life. It will draw certain things in that lead us along the path that we decided to experience before. But the key to everything is living life and not letting life live us. Be the one. Be the one that takes responsibility for what happens to us, and in doing so, we then take control of our lives instead of our lives controlling us, which is what it does with the vast majority of the 7 billion people nearly on this planet at this time. Stage 1 of transformation, to realize we are a slave. To realize that is to start to see the bars in the cell that we couldn't see before. At that point, we realize there's something to address that we didn't realize before when we thought we were bloody free because we had a vote every 4 or 5 years. Once we recognize that, then we have the opportunity to choose to continue to sit in that cell or to choose freedom. And if we choose freedom, that is when we have the chance to transform our lives and go through this process of transformation by taking that intent. I will be free. I will be the full magnitude of who I am. I am not going to be a figment of a fake identity any longer of someone else's creation that tells me this is what I am. And then you go through this transformation, very well symbolized in the Matrix movie, and sometimes, like I say, it can be challenging. My God, I've been here sometimes. Sometimes not so much now, no, not now, because I've gone to another level now, but on this journey, I've gone to the top of a hill sometimes where no one could hear me because I didn't want to frighten them, and I have screamed frustration out of my body because of the challenges that I was going through and the frustration of no one listening at that time. And the frustration of my life breaking down, the old life and its effect on other people, which gave me a lot of grief sometimes, and that was a real challenge. But when you come through it, then you start to see it completely differently. You start to realize that the experiences you give others are the experiences that are their journey. And I've seen people like my children, who are unique expressions of humanity, very different, all unique, not despite what they experience because of me, but because of it. It was their challenge as well as mine, and it transformed them and gave them a sense of uniqueness that they might not have had otherwise. Opening the heart, understanding that infinite love is the only truth, everything else is illusion. There was a wonderful line that voice in the ayahuasca experience came out with, which said, if it vibrates, it's illusion. And when you go, sometimes, often fleetingly, mostly fleetingly for most people, into the space beyond vibration, everything is silent and everything is still. No vibration, because that's that place of what some people in religious writings have called the void. It's that place of all possibility where the silence is all possibility waiting to manifest through